Hey guys, tonight's Monday night. It's when I do my long drive training, and I just got to the location. So I'm gonna sit here and do a little stretch warm up and answer some questions if anybody has any. I got my coconut water and I got my protein bar. These Cliff bars, I'll be honest with you, they're pretty close to a candy bar, so I can't really call it something too healthy. But you know what? I'm about to train for the next 2.5 to 3 hours and see if I can't pick up some speed tonight. So I want to say congratulations, Bryson. You did an awesome job. I just, it's great to see somebody who does something outside of the box. Jack was long. Tiger was long. I mean, distance is an obvious advantage. There's no getting around it. And, Hogan was long. He hit the ball very long, and so did Sam Snead. It's going to give you an advantage over time if you hit the ball 20 yards farther than your competitors. And when you look at a golf tournament that's 72 holes, it just adds up. It's like, I imagine over the course of 72 holes, he ends up playing, like one or two less holes than the other guys, so that's an obvious advantage. So I'm going to be warming up and stretching a little bit, just show you some of the things that I do that I think are good. I need to open up my hips, open up my shoulders and what have you. So things are a little bit different lately. I've been working so hard, but my golf business has become much different than it was, say, even a year ago. I've got the location. I give lessons out of here. It's just so dynamite. It's such a very comfortable place, with the launch monitor and what have you. I'm starting to, I'm talking to some different golf courses. I'm starting a golf production company. I worked for Buna Murray Productions for 17 years. They're the company that makes the Real World, Road Rules, The Challenge, The Kardashians, The Simple Life. I was the first producer on The Simple Life, So I know how to run a production company. And so now I'm building a golf production company, and I'm going to be doing MSE TV. That's why I'm doing these interviews for my Mr. Hogan show. Like the big debut is going to be with Gary Player, which is awesome. Excuse me if I have some candy bar here. So what I'm doing right here is called a Sufi swirl. I'm just sitting with my legs crossed, and I'm starting to warm up and loosen up where my spine fits into my pelvis. So my lower back is the key to my golf swing. The thighs, quads, glutes, lower back. This is where my focus has been in the gym lately. I've been doing a lot more leg presses, squats, and deadlifts than I've ever done in my life. But last week, I picked up so much yardage. It was just absolutely crazy. It's kind of hard to believe, except I have a launch monitor. It's telling me. When I started, I'm telling you, I had become so wimpified. I was hitting like 250-yard dinkers, 260. And no offense to anybody, whatever length you are, I knew that I could hit it farther. But the reality is, if you don't use it, you lose it. And you start to hit the ball shorter. So, yada, yada, yada. So this is all well and good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see. I couldn't do this stretch for the longest time. This kind of stretch here where you sit down on your knees. I used to do this in karate all the time. You start out your karate class like this. And you just sit on folded legs with your feet underneath you. Now, I thought for the longest time, because I wasn't in shape, I was like, oh, I need a knee operation. I couldn't even crouch down to read a putt properly. But luckily, I discovered yoga. I'd known about yoga for years and years, but I never really did very much with it. Like, the most I ever did yoga for was a couple of months. But now it's a regular part of my life. So foam rollers, yeah, I have a foam roller at my house. Very important. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called a child's pose stretch. So I was sitting like this on top of my feet like karate class. Now I'm going to spread my knees apart and I'm going to stretch my back out forward like so. I'm going to probably dip out of the screen for a second. So I'm just stretching my back out here. You know, it's super important. It's super important with this long drive training. Any training that I do, I say the number one priority is do not hurt yourself, okay? So I start to loosen up my wrists. You know, it's so funny. I love to watch Miguel Angel Jimenez, the way he warms up. You know, it's just so funny, like when he hits those holes in ones, when he starts doing his little shuffle. I just try and loosen up and get everything moving here. Guys, I'm got the Golf Channel on the big screen right over here, and I'm watching Bryson do his thing where he hit it over the lake. I've been there. When you see the lake, it's no small body of water. And, I love holes like that where you can choose how much you want to bite off. And I'll tell you, it's a real gutsy shot to take the line that he took. And that on Sunday, I mean, gosh, he took it so far. He took it so far over. He cleared it with ease. And, the funny thing is, on Saturday, if you noticed his numbers, his club head speed was 135. Crazy. Maybe 136 even. I know it was in the mid 130s, but his smash factor on that drive was only 1.43, which isn't very good, but it was enough to get it over that body of water. So I'm just going to stretch over to the side. Again, it's all about loosening up my back. And I just twist like so. Nice and easy. Just starting to get the body warmed up, synovial fluid. So one thing I wanted to tell you guys about is my life is changing, with my swing evolution. I'm just super busy. Now, the thing is, I'm producing more content than I ever have in my life. I mean, I'm constantly working. But I'm working on taking everything to the next level, like making TV shows with people like Gary Player. I just shot with Greg Hood, who was the director of tour operations for the Ben Hogan Company in the 1980s. And then I'm talking to Bruce Fleischer, who's going to be in an episode of Mr. Hogan coming up. He knew Ben Hogan. Bruce Fleischer was telling me stories about Ben Hogan that were crazy. Now, Bruce Fleischer's story is super duper cool because he was the U.S. amateur champion when he was 19, joins the PGA Tour, plays in the Masters the next year, all that cool stuff. And he really didn't make it. It's hard to make the PGA Tour, but he knew he had the game. And so he was a journeyman. I think he won one time on tour before he had to make a living as a club pro, which is honorable, totally cool. But he was like the best golfer in South Florida. Well, when he turned 50, he joined the Champions Tour and he won 18 times. And he was telling me some really cool stuff about the game of golf. And I'm focused on exactly what he and Gary Player told me. So Gary Player told me, become a master of the short game. 100 yards and in. And so Bruce said that when he got ready to go to the Champions Tour, actually his caddy told me this. He said Bruce mastered 60, 80, and 100 yards. Those 3 yardages, because really from inside 60, you're eyeballing it. Like, it's like you can just throw it up there. So that's what my focus is. So when I move over here to the simulator, I'm going to warm up hitting 60, 80, and 100 yards. 60, 80, 100. And then my buddy should be here, and I'm going to be fired up, and I'm going to, hit the simulator. So guys, please follow my Swing Evolution on Instagram and the Facebook page. I'm much more active on there. I'm trying to hire somebody to run my YouTube channel. I'd like to hire a PGA pro that wants to teach out of here and help me build the teaching business at my Swing Evolution here at the Evolution Center. There's so much really exciting stuff going on right now. You can hit me up, Christo, at myswingevolution.com if you have any questions. And, if you want to learn more about what I'm doing, my new Hogan code is outstanding. I don't want to be too braggartly or braggadocious. What's the word? I put everything I have into the new Hogan code. It's such a good instructional video. I think it'll stand the test of time. So until next time, guys, I hope you hit them long and hit them straight.